What's up, everyone? It is the Mac and Murray College Football Show. We appreciate everyone who is joining us currently live on Twitter. If not, welcome to YouTube or SiriusXM or anywhere you stream your podcast, Apple, Spotify, anywhere. We're all over the place. So we appreciate all the support, love, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Also, leave your top 15, top 10. We'll be announcing our top 15 at the end of the show. And it is jam-packed because once again, it was another tremendous day of college football. We're going UJ Ole Miss, Bama, Tennessee, USC, Notre Dame. Is Clemson dead? LSU, Vandy, Georgia Tech, Duke.
Why'd you just have to sneak that in there like
How
that?
crazy is the Big 12 right now? It is pure chaos. I had a crazy game in the Big 12 yesterday. It was wild ending. I'm going to get into that a little bit too. And then at the end of the show, we're going to do our new top 15. So if you're an Ohio State fan, make sure you tune in because we'll see, is it you or is it Vanderbilt as our new, not Vanderbilt, Indiana as our new number one team? Vanderbilt, number one team in the country. Let's go. I'm all for the Commodores moving their way into the top 5, baby. Diego Pavia, give me the Heisman. Let's roll. Emac, man, how was your weekend before we dive into these games?
Yeah, it was chaotic. Well, not as chaotic as you with the 20-hour weather delay, the back and forth. I need to hear about that here in a second as well. But man, we just follow these little yellow jackets around in the ACC, and they're good, man. And the fun part about them, and we'll talk about this more in a second, is they're like a heavyweight boxer that they're going to take all your shots. And then if you can't hang in the fourth quarter, boom, here comes the uppercut. And they knock you out. And it's sustainable. It's gritty. It's tough. And they push you to the max. They're going to find out. So we were in Duke this weekend. Duke, loved them. They hosted us. It was very nice. Got to hang out with my boy, Coach David Feely down there in the weight room. But the Jackets, they're for real, man, and they're really fun to watch. How about your travels? What'd you do for 3 hours? I guess you watched football. I kept seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I was either going to watch the 3:30 slot at the airport, or I just watched it in the booth. We put it on our big monitors and had over a 3-hour rain delay. 3 straight times we had delays. So the first one was an hour and a half,
right?
And then they went back out, played for a few minutes, another lightning strike. So then that was another 45 minutes, and then they came out and it's sunny outside, like not a cloud in the sky, and somehow some magical lightning popped up somewhere within the radius. So then we had to go back for another 30-minute delay. So it ended up being 3 hours. So just sat in the booth and watched games, and it was crazy because TCU was up 3 scores with, I think, 4 minutes ago. So after all this rain delay, we're like, all right, let's just run the football, get out of here, be done with the game. They decide to keep their starting quarterback in, do a zone read. They fumble it. He fumbles it. He pulls it, fumbles it. They get it, scoop, score, touchdown. So now it's a 14-point game. Like, okay, still, whatever. This game should be over. 3 and out, then a punt, and they get the ball like on their 5-yard line, march right down the field. I'm talking about Baylor here. Right down the field, score another touchdown, and go for 2, or they went for 2 previously. So all of a sudden it was 21 points. Game should be over. 4 minutes to go in the game. It's a 6-point game, and they kicked the onside kick and they got it. So I'm like, 3-hour rain delay, one of the craziest endings of my life. Somehow Baylor, who was down 21 points 4 minutes ago, has an opportunity to win it. And then, they stop them, get an interception, and game's over. So could have been the wildest ending of any game I've ever been a part of, and still was pretty crazy. But TCU survives to get to 5-2. We'll talk about the Big 12 and all that craziness here in a little bit, but let's jump into some of these games right now. And obviously one of the biggest ones of the weekend, another wild one. And like I said, since my rain delay, I got to watch this entire thing live, which was great. Ole Miss on the road against Georgia in Athens. And it was fireworks on fireworks on fireworks. Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss could not be stopped for 3 straight quarters. I mean, it was like, where's Georgia's defense? Does Georgia have a defense? And we talked about last week how good of a quarterback he is. And obviously we're going to get to Gunner because Gunner was magnificent in this football game as well. But it just seemed like Lane Kiffin was going to put 60 points on Georgia and run away with a big-time victory on the road. So I'll go to you first. Like, overall thoughts on this crazy matchup between Ole Miss and Georgia.
Well, I think what you really need to think about here is like workout style. Like when you do hot yoga, you've only got about 45 minutes that you can go. Like that other 15, you're dead. Like you can't make it happen. And when you do traditional weightlifting, that last 15, like you're doing finishers, you're pushing, you're doing the hardest thing. So I think, down in the Grove, they need to rethink how they work out, maybe go to CrossFit because hot yoga ain't working. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
Uh,
And this is my thing. I'm watching this game, Aaron, and just everything you said, dominating, like moving, like they scored Ole Miss 5 drives, 5 touchdowns,
wow.
perfect on third down. I was more impressed with the perfect on third down through 3 quarters. Fourth quarter starts, Georgia scores a touchdown, and it's like Georgia defense is that cool kid that like, I ain't showing up until an hour after the party starts, baby. I'll
An
be there.
hour,
Don't worry.
like 3 hours after the party
3
started.
hours, whatever it takes. 3 and out, 3 and out, 5 plays,
Yep.
downs, over. See you later. Like Georgia just ignited in the fourth quarter. That crowd, that's one of the loudest crowds I've ever heard on TV. Like, I don't
Yep.
know if they had mics
You're
situated
shaking.
in better places. Sanford Stadium was going nuts. And just looking at Georgia's drives to finish the game, and I know that first drive that I'm talking about here was partly in the third quarter, but 12 plays, 6 minutes, touchdown.
Yep.
9 play, 5-minute touchdown. 10 play, 4.5-minute field goal, game over. Take a knee. See ya. I mean, the Dogs, the way they finish, and Kirby said it perfect, man. He's just like, we're hard to kill. We're hard
Yeah.
to kill. We don't go away. We don't quit. And that is mindset. That is attitude. I was joking about the working out, but that's weight room. Like that's everything culture
Yes.
wise, balled up, and we're better than you in
Yeah,
every
and we're
aspect.
better, we're more resilient. I mean, it's like Matt Drills back in the day, like you
Yes.
said, you don't die, you find a way to finish football games, and Georgia may be the most tested team in America right now, and I think that is going to pay dividends later on the season. They just keep playing with fire, but you know what? They got the dudes to figure it out, and the
Mhm.
defense continues to just be horrendous in the first half and then this week into the third quarter, but then somehow they just, like you alluded to, they just magically snap their fingers and then they turn it on all of a sudden and they find ways to get pressure on the quarterback and tip footballs. So, you give them a little bit of props for what they did in the fourth quarter, but I think the star of the show is Gunner. And I'll be the first one to admit it. Like I have not given Gunner his roses this season for what he's been able to do as a quarterback at Georgia. And you look at his stats: 70% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception, another 7 yards or 7 touchdowns running as well. And I said heading into this game, like he's gonna have to be a difference maker. I said he needs to run the football at minimum 10 times. And you look at the stat sheet: 10 carries, 59 yards, 1 touchdown. His running ability gives him the opportunity, and Georgia's as a whole, I mean, they ran for 221 yards,
Yeah.
but those running and his running threat gives him the opportunity to throw with confidence because he's gonna get more one-on-one chances.
Yes.
And they're winning those. I mean, it was even without his best receiver goes out, Colby Young goes out in the first quarter. And he's just been deadly accurate with the football this entire season. And I'm not used to saying like, "Hey, Georgia can win shootouts." Like, if you would have told me, "Okay, which
Right.
game does Ole Miss want?" This was the game Ole Miss wanted, like this style
Yes.
of football. Yeah, Georgia's shown they can win shootouts. Go back to the game there in Knoxville, but I still think Georgia would prefer to play a more balanced game where the game's in the high 20s, maybe
Right.
low 30s, but not it's a race to 40. First team to
Yeah.
40 wins, first team to 50 wins. I thought that favored Ole Miss, but it's been another game in which Georgia said, "Hey, we can win this style of fight."
Right.
We can rely on Gunner to go out there and throw haymaker after haymaker after haymaker. And so I want to give him his roses, and I want to give Bobo his roses too. I tweeted this yesterday. Yeah, the fans love to bash Bobo
Yeah.
over and over and over again, and I feel like I say this every single week. Georgia's offense has not been the problem for this football team this
Yeah.
year. It has been the offense that has awarded them victories this season. And I think there needs to be more respect for what Bobo and this side of the football has been able to, because if they were not this good, Georgia would be
Oh,
four
they'd
and
be in
three, five and
problems.
two.
Yeah.
They would not be
Yeah.
6-1.
No, no, and I think to go to the back to the Gunner thing real quick, you gave him a ton of credit for Tennessee. I don't want you to people to if they're maybe watching this for the first
I
time
never
because
felt
you
like I've
didn't.
bashed him, but I don't feel like
No,
I've
no, no,
I've kind of put him
no.
on
Yeah.
he's a top 10 quarterback, because he is. When I need to re-update my new quarterback rankings, because I guarantee you he will be
Yeah.
somewhere in my top 10, which he has not been so far this season.
To me, the thing that separates him is, yes, his legs, because he puts that on himself, like,
Yep.
that long touchdown run that he had, but also just clutch timing, but overall, his clutch factor, I mean, it was 2nd and 13, and he drops the ball on a dot, to the left-hand side there to, really impressive play to Dylan Bell that I thought was just amazing to see. Throwing to those tight ends, like, the day that Lucky had, Lawson Lucky. I mean, you look at it, so a hat trick, a great
Yeah.
job from a tight end, but the way that he did it on a fake screen, so he's split out to the left. They're running a fake screen where he's going to block. He's kind of chopping and whoop, just slides out, touchdown. Then you talk about play design and Bobo. They do a fake pitch where it's student body right. Everyone's running their line, running back, fullback, other tight end, and here comes Lucky, just
Yeah.
slides
I mean,
right
but
through,
this is the Lucky.
touchdown.
I remember Lucky 2 years ago in a spring game. He was like the MVP of the game, and I was like, dude, this guy. I'm never gonna crown someone like the next Brock Bowers, but he's kind of
Yeah,
has those characteristics to him of a tight end body, but receiver traits with running, catching, all
mhm,
that, and it just seems like he needed this game. I feel like to say like. I can do this. I
right,
am this talented. I can win one-on-one battles against whether it's linebackers or a secondary guy. So I'm hoping this is kind of the ignition to get
right.
Lawson going because if you can get the tight end spot going with the way Zachariah Branch has played this season,
Oh,
Dylan
yeah,
Bell's coming along. I think London Humphreys has had some moments this year. Colby Young obviously has been in beast mode for the season. It's a really dangerous offense. And
it is.
obviously it starts with still running the football, which they're able to do. But Bobo is doing a great job. I just want to
Yeah,
continue to say Bobo is doing a great job. And yes, it was against an Ole Miss defense that's not very good. I get it, but they've done it all season long or for the
right,
majority of the season. So,
and the way they
and I
ran
thought
the ball, I
Oregon,
mean,
like
that was
Gunner's only played 7
yeah,
games or
right,
8 games, 9 games. He hasn't even
right.
played double digit games as a
Yeah,
starter.
he's
This
gonna be
dude's only
good.
going to get better and
He's
better.
gonna be good. But I think, again, being able to rush the ball for 221, like,
Yep.
that's just this team's figuring it out, and they're coming together, and that's the most important part,
They're
and it
figuring out
is
an
crazy.
offense. I still don't know if they're fully figured out on
That's what I was
defense.
gonna say. The crazy part is the defense might be the thing that holds them back at some point because it has to an extent this season. But don't you feel good about that though? Like, don't you feel like
Yeah,
Kirby's
but
gonna get
I
them
also
right at
said this
some
about
point?
LSU a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Oh, the
Yeah,
fact that the offense has been slow at the gates makes me feel more confident because I know eventually the defense
right,
or the offense is going to figure out." But then
right.
obviously the offense still has not figured out, and it cost them a loss to Vanderbilt yesterday, which we'll get into that game too. So like, yeah, you hope that like where you've built this dynasty s football team and Kirby Smart has been defense, that eventually it will get going, similar to how LSU's been, but LSU never still hasn't gotten there yet, and I
Right.
just don't know if Georgia is going to get there, and be able to string together 4 quarters of really good defense. So it's still TBD, but at least your offense can win shootouts because they've proven it time after time. Ole Miss still a good football team. Trinidad Chambliss still a damn good quarterback. The offense is pretty damn good. The defense just got worn out, and we knew that the physicality was going to get to them, and they just got out physical at the line of scrimmage, and that's a problem for Ole Miss, unfortunately, but still a team that could win a lot of games going forward. All right, let's jump into our next game, Bama versus Tennessee, and it kind of played out the way we thought it would, to be honest. Like I think we anticipated Bama was the better football team. Bama's at home, and Tennessee was just not going to be able to slow down the Crimson Tide and their passing attack and all the athletes they have, and it kind of played out to that. And shout out to you talk about a defense that's gotten better. Alabama's defense continues to get better and better and better and
Yeah.
better. And this may be still, I think, right, they're playing as good as anyone in the country right now on both sides of the football.
I totally agree with you, and I think, just watching that game and kind of, 2 heavyweight boxers felt like feeling each other out, and Tennessee's driving, marching down the field, to kinda end the first half here,
Oh,
and they line up and they go jumbo, and I'm like, "Okay, if I think I know what I know, watch a pass right here." That's what I'm thinking in my head,
well,
and
they
and
can't
then
run
here
the
they
football
go.
with no timeouts to go.
Say it again? No,
They
well,
had
I knew
no
that's why they had
timeout.
no timeout, so I knew that That's why I
Everyone knows
thought
the
they were gonna
pass.
pass the ball. That's why I thought
Yes.
they were gonna pass the ball. But even in that sense, maybe you want your pass catchers in there, not a bunch of big dudes, moving
I
moving
think
around.
they were trying to trick Bama thinking like, "Oh, we're
They
gonna get big
were.
and maybe run." It's like, "No,
Yeah.
we know you can't run it. There's no
Exactly.
timeouts to go. We know
Exact
you're gonna
or
throw
are
the
you just
football."
thinking it's good on good, we're gonna get in this end zone.
No.
Regardless, I thought it was sound the alarms, here comes a pass, and
Yes.
what a heads up play, and that corner, man, he just saw Joey's eyes the whole way. I mean,
It
he's
was a
running the
terrible
route. He's
pass.
making the play and then takes it, man, 100 yards to the house. That I thought was the cracking point of the game. That's where I was like, "Okay, this is over." Like, it
Yep.
doesn't really matter what Tennessee thinks they can do the rest of the way. And then Ty Simpson, again, just super efficient. I love the way that dude plays football, man. The way he maneuvers the pocket, pushes the ball downfield. I thought the running game was creative enough.
Yep.
From Alabama, still probably need to see more in that category there. But ultimately, you're right. I agree with what you said about the defense was kind of the story of the day.
Yep.
That was the number one offense in the SEC there, maybe in the country when you look at certain rankings there, 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and just bottled them up, it felt like,
Yep.
all game long.
No, and listen, it wasn't even Ty's best game, and
Right.
I still loved every moment of it. I mean, you talk about a quarterback that was stepping there throwing like dagger routes on an absolute dime. There was one where the middle linebacker is almost like I think it was like a Tampa 2. I got to go back and watch the coach's tape. It was like a Tampa 2 dagger route coming underneath that middle defender in the middle of the field, and he just lets it rip.
Yeah.
Receiver catches it and takes it. So I just think he is right now the premier quarterback in college football, the way that he is complete command, protecting the football. You have trust that he's not going to put in a situation where the other team's going to be able to make a play. He can make all the different throws you want. Ryan Williams finally got going. I think that's something
Yeah.
that gets me excited even more about Alabama's offense is like, we talk about like, oh, Georgia's defense finally is going to get going at some point. Maybe, maybe not. I know Ryan Williams is going to hit his stride at some point this
Right.
season. There's no doubt in my mind that guy's too good. And we saw glimmers of that in the game versus Tennessee. 5 catches, 87 yards. Obviously, Bernard's a beast, but it's still the run game, though. The fact that you had to use Jeremy Bernard
Right.
as your primary rusher for 49 yards, led the team in rushing yards, still is a major concern for me because will Ty Simpson have a game in which it's all not clicking? Like I said, like last night was to me as bad as it could get for Ty Simpson, and he was 19 to 29 for 253, 2 touchdowns, looked really good. Like I think that's like the lower level, like that's the floor for him right now, which is
Right.
crazy to think about just
Right.
how good he is. But is there a game where maybe that floor drops a little bit and you need to rely on the running game and it's not there?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna get that problem at some point this season. It may or may not peek its head around, but I do think that is something to obviously continue to look at is Alabama's ability to run the football, and then Alabama's ability to stop the run too. Because Tennessee and Deshaun Bishop ran for 123 yards. They had over 4 yards per carry. Um, so they're out athleting people in the pass game offensively.
Yeah.
But I will, like you said, to your point, I will give their defense roses because I do think they're getting significantly better, making some big strides on that side of the football.
And I think the interesting thing, you mentioned that run defense, particularly in this game, and of course, what they saw last week in Mizzou, and 2 teams that ran the ball, good, okay, 163 yards last week from Mizzou. But when you look at the rest of the way, South Carolina ain't running the ball. I know you come
Yeah,
here, whatever, or come to Columbia, they ain't running the ball. LSU definitely is not running the ball.
definitely not running the football.
Oklahoma definitely not running the ball.
True.
Whoever EIU is, not sure. That's
Eastern
funny. They're on the
Illinois, no,
schedule.
and then Auburn ain't
And
either.
Auburn's a train wreck. Will they have a head coach by then? Who knows? So, I think that you're thinking, okay, we got to get that right by SEC championship
By the
if
time
you
they
play
fit
whoever.
A&M. Yeah.
If it's Texas A&M or whoever else, maybe a Georgia, we'll see what happens. Rematch there and then playoff. So, but at that point, is your team complete? Have you figured that out? And is Ty, one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the country? So I am not as concerned just because of who you play the rest of the way with the run defense.
Before we give our little, just a couple thoughts on Tennessee, has Alabama separated themselves from everyone else,
In the
including
SEC?
A&M
In the
in the
SEC?
SEC? Yeah.
Like that loss still is like lingering back here, but
God, especially because
probably.
FSU keeps losing too. Holy
FSU is
crap.
so bad. It is unimaginable. And listen, I love Mike Norvell. I love FSU. all those things, a change has to be made. I mean, they've got, and that's $58.3 million. Go find it. Have fun. Don't know what you're going to do. My first call would be Jimbo Fisher. He works on the desk. I can get you his number, whatever you want to do there. That's a fascinating situation. So that looks really, really bad. But I think so. I think they're close. I still have A&M right on their heels, and Georgia's coming. Georgia's right there too.
Yeah,
It's fascinating deal.
yeah, Alabama definitely the best in the SEC for sure. Tennessee, yeah, the issues defensively, had a couple moments there in the first half where it looked good. You're like, okay, Tennessee's actually playing decent on defense,
Yeah.
but you just knew at some point the floodgates were going to open, and obviously 7 of those points were off a pick 6, but still, like that defense is just not good enough to be balanced, and the offense has to be elite. And they just ran into, we're on the road against a defense that's playing well, and we're just unable to score the points that we need
Right.
to get to the 30s or get to the 40s.
Well, I mean, you just
And
are who you are. When you have
yeah,
the worst defense in the SEC, I mean,
yeah.
it's hard to be in a shootout every single week when there's teams that are marginally better than you.
Still a top 25 team though.
Sure. Who's not in the
Yeah.
SEC? I think the whole SEC should be ranked at the end of the day.
I mean, you look at their schedule too. Like, there's no
I'm
reason
joking, by the way. I don't believe that.
there's no reason why Tennessee should not be 9-3.
Sure. That'd be great.
So good season still.
Yeah.
For what we thought it was going to be with when the quarterback
Are they out of the
situation was off
playoff?
season.
Are they done? Are they out of the playoff?
I don't know. I mean, this is a crazy season. Who knows? I think there's going to be one 9-3 team that gets in. I
Probably
don't know
shouldn't
if
be the worst
Tennessee's that
defense in the
team.
SEC though, right? Like, have
What's
fun
that?
in the Outback Bowl. It shouldn't be the worst defense. Like, if you look at it, you're like, yeah, these guys look good. We're not
No,
putting
I
this
mean, yeah, doing that playoff committee thing, and they obviously look at that stuff. I think they're going to look at that defense and say, not that. Sorry, unfortunately, is not good enough at 9-3 to be our first ever 9-3 team, to have one of the worst defenses in the country. We ain't putting you in. So, great win by Alabama. They continue to just get better and better every single week. All right, let's go to a game that I was watching pretty closely last night, just because I kind of felt like that game was going to be the outcome it did. So I kind of had the Alabama Tennessee on my second screen, and then I had this game on my first screen because I thought it would be a little bit more competitive. Notre Dame takes down USC 34-24, and I tweeted this last night. Jeremiah Love, I think, is the best football player in America.
Really?
He is that. I mean, it drove us crazy the first game of the season. We're like, why are we not running Jeremiah Love?
Yes.
Why are we not doing it? And then since then, it's been like, why? Let's just give the ball number 4. He's too special.
More.
He is unfreaking believable, man. Explosive. Obviously, we know he can hurdle. He can stiff arm. He can do it all. And last night was a career night for him. The most rushing yards of his career, 228 yards, 9.5 yard average. And then it's not just him. Price is a freak too. Like, it's not even close. The best tandem of running backs in the country. The offensive line kicked freaking ass too. It was a lot of fun to watch that offense because I love CJ Carr. CJ was a little bit off in the game, no doubt about it. I mean, the interception was horrendous. But that running game and that offensive line was fun to watch. And I know you like that kind of ball.
Yeah, you brought it up, so I do want to go there real quick before I talk about this running attack. Was that the worst pick you've ever witnessed?
No, Cam Ward last year running to his right out of bounds, throwing it across the field.
It was about the same thing.
Yeah, very close. Very, very similar.
And you're right. Cam's so old. Like, that dude's a 20th year senior.
Yes. This is a freshman.
This guy's a young freshman.
Yeah.
You're right. I'll give him some grace there. But there was, at least 30 times I'm sitting there screaming, throw it away.
Just throw it away.
Throw it away.
Take the point.
And then when he throws it back, I'm just like, oh, God. That's so bad. But it didn't matter. Didn't matter because you got Jeremiah Love. And you just run that ball. And you're right, man. And that's, it's funny that this game was maybe not as high scoring, but this is kind of what I thought Michigan would be able to do to USC. So I'm a little interested that they had that type of game before, and yet still in this game just got pummeled. And maybe
we're just worn out, maybe from a week ago.
Maybe you're worn out, and maybe it's just a massive gap between Michigan and Notre Dame, and clearly the running back position.
Well, I think Michigan, at least Notre Dame presents the threat of throwing the football. You have to respect, even though CJ was not on last night, you still have to respect the fact that he can throw the football.
Right.
And I do think that Love Price, in Michigan, their starting running back got hurt last week, but
Right.
Love is still the best running back in the country.
Yeah.
He's a little bit different gear.
And it's just the way he does it too, man. It's he has such great vision and patience. I mean, they ran kind of a like a belly G, some kind of end zone or excuse me, inside zone where he just kind of waits and he
Yep.
lets for it develop. And then boom, he hits the backside A gap, or he sees that the lineman was able to get to the next level, or the wide receiver is coming down, and he sees he can bounce it really easy. And it's not even a bounce; it's just kind of a lean. Like it's very patient. It doesn't feel sporadic. It doesn't feel rushed. He just is great at finding holes. And then you have that, ability for Price to be right there with him to alleviate any type of pressure he might feel, or any type of, if he's tired, just tap your helmet. This guy comes in, he's
Come in.
just as good, and really powerful guy. That kick return he had felt like that was kind of the
Oh,
tipping point, of the game, 100 yards to the
I don't know.
house. And
UNC had some just god awful decisions from a play calling standpoint.
they
I'm
did.
scratching my head.
They did,
Like
and Notre Dame capitalized, right? I mean, they
oh
were
yeah,
defensively, I think Notre Dame, getting
they're
better,
getting
not
better.
quite where I thought they would be. I thought this was gonna be a really good defense, but they're trending that way, and they're getting their hands on the football.
I don't think they're trending as fast as, say, Alabama, who we just talked about when it
Sure.
comes to getting better. You still saw some pretty big explosive plays given up. But I mean, Jaden Mayava is a tremendous quarterback.
Yeah.
Jacoby Lane had a great game for them, big receiver. Obviously, Lemon's going to come off. But I thought USC made some critical mistakes in critical situations. Like
Yeah.
it's raining outside, and you decide to do a reverse pass to your receiver when it's wet. Like that's not the time you bring that play out when a guy is not a I know he played quarterback in high school or whatever, but still it's raining outside.
Right.
Don't put the ball in someone's hands who's not used to throwing as much or in that situation with the downpour. So I thought that was a huge mistake. Obviously, Mayava made some critical turnovers down the stretch. So and their ability to still be physical at the lines of scrimmage. They couldn't run the football. They couldn't stop the run. So, like, yeah, you got up 1 week against Michigan, a freshman quarterback, and the starting running backs out, and you played great. You played lights out, and maybe you are marginally improved when it comes to physicality, but you couldn't do it for 2 straight weeks.
Right.
Like anyone can get up for one game in that league where it's big boy ball for a majority of the season and teams want to play at the line of scrimmage in the Big Ten, you can't just tell me like, oh, I can do it 1 week and we've solved our problems. Like, no,
Yeah.
they're not solved still. You're
Yeah.
still not a physical football team because you just got absolutely eaten up last night for over 300 yards rushing and
Yeah.
7 yards per carry. So, but back to Notre Dame, like secondary wise, there's still yards to be gone against them. We saw it. Explosive plays on the field, receivers getting on top, receivers making plays.
Right.
But there was still enough ability to create some turnovers and hold USC to 24 points. Is still we're moving in the right direction. May not be super fast, but we're trending in the right direction. This is a really good football team that was their last test. Let's be honest. Like you look at Notre Dame, doesn't have to play in a conference championship game, and they got Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford are their last 5 games.
Yeah. Are you does it piss you off that they start 0-2 and they can control their own destiny to get to the playoff
No,
with the
because they look
schedule? And
no,
you're cool
because
with
they
it?
look
Like, you're
good in
fine
those
with it?
2 games. Like, it's not like they got their butt whooped.
Yeah.
I mean, you
It's
lose
just
I
it's
know they
always gonna be such a easier, relatively guaranteed pass, and that does frustrate me. That does frustrate me.
a little bit, but I think you and I know enough football and can watch enough football to appreciate
Hey, I
a
just want
good team when
everybody
we
to be
see
able to
one.
play by the similar rules, okay? That's all I want.
No,
That's all.
I'm with you. Like, I'm happy the SEC next year is playing 9 conference games.
Well, even more so, it's like there's just not that game that everyone else top of the top is going to have to play. They don't have to play it. That's what pisses me off the most.
Yeah.
Like if Georgia has to play in the SEC championship, if Miami has to play in the SEC championship and they lose, like that's a big deal. And Notre Dame's just sitting there with their feet up saying, "Oh, well, sucks to be you guys. We're going to take this
Yeah, I
top
mean, but I
6
think the
seed."
committee's kinda made that decision. They're like, "Hey, we're not gonna penalize a team for playing a conference championship game." So I think that's an interesting conversation. Like, if there's a 10-2, you know, ACC,
Well,
SEC,
I mean,
Big
they're gonna
Ten
be
team.
punished in the fact that maybe you were a top 4 seed and now you're not. Like, that sucks. You don't have a first
Yeah,
round bye.
no, I agree. I mean, that's why
That's
I'm
just my
like,
thing.
honestly, like,
Just join a conference. Just join a conference.
the
That's all I'm
more
saying.
we get into expansion, I don't wanna turn this into this conversation, but the more we get into expansion, the more I kinda lean towards, like, just getting right into the playoffs and eliminating conference championship weekend.
Really? Oh, we'll talk about that this spring. We'll hold off on that.
Yeah. I mean, I said this last spring and before, like, it feels like we're moving in that direction with more playoff games and bigger playoffs, and obviously the focal point of being into the playoff and, like, why do I wanna play an extra game if it can, possibly hurt me instead of just jumping right into the playoffs
Mhm.
while
Mhm.
other teams get to take the weekend off.
Right.
I just don't
It's
know
true.
at the end of the day. But that's a whole nother discussion for another time. Notre Dame, great football team. I think a really good football team that showed that how good they are running it, line of scrimmage play. Jeremiah Love, front and center when it comes to the Heisman discussion. All right, let's get to Vandy LSU. The Vandy boys. I picked them. I don't know if you picked them or LSU, but I am I've said this weeks ago, I'm in love with this offense. I think this offense is so much fun to watch. I think Diego obviously is a bulldog. That dude just gets after it, and they just eat up clock. Eat up
Mhm.
36 minutes, man. They just eat up clock, and it was one of LSU's best offensive games, but they just didn't have the ball enough.
Yeah. I think I think it is a shocking case study to look at Clemson, LSU, Florida State. Like to see how they operate and somehow LSU's in the top 10
I
going
don't
into
know
the
if you could
game.
put LSU in the same category as Florida State and
Think of
Clemson.
what you thought of them week 1
I
and think of
agree,
where
but
they are now. They're
they don't look
incompetent.
nearly as bad as Clemson or Florida State does right now.
They're incompetent offensively. Well, I
No,
mean,
they
220
played
yards, that's their
fine
best day
offensively
passing
yesterday. The
against
defense
Vandy.
didn't play
That's what we're
well.
feeling good about. I just I thought Nuss was going to be the first overall quarterback. Now I don't know if he's getting drafted in the
I
first round.
agree when it comes to, like, the standards of where we thought LSU was heading into
That's
the
all I'm
season
saying.
offense.
After week 1, we're like Clemson's going to be okay. LSU's going to win a national championship. Florida State's back. And
I
now
still
right
would not
now,
put LSU in the same categories where where Clemson and Florida
sure.
State is right now.
We'll follow up on this. I think LSU loses 3 more games. I think LSU's toast.
I agree they probably lose 2 more games.
Texas A&M, Bama, Oklahoma, they're losing all 3 of those.
I don't know if they're gonna lose Oklahoma. I don't know if Oklahoma's offense is gonna move it on LSU. I think Vanderbilt's offense, similar to Georgia Tech, presents a lot of issues for defenses, a lot
Yeah.
of issues with Diego's ability to be creative, run all the eye candy and discipline that goes along with it, with good skill on the outside. It's a lot to handle for a defense, and you saw a very fast LSU defense without their best linebacker struggle to keep up sideline to sideline with them. So I still think this is a really good LSU defense that will be able to handle Oklahoma significantly better than they did Vanderbilt.
Maybe.
We'll
We'll
see.
see.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
I'm not saying like
We'll
LSU is
see.
definitely winning the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just
yeah.
have more confidence LSU's defense will be better equipped than they were against Vanderbilt.
I
I
I'm
love
just
Vanderbilt offense.
fading I'm just fading them so hard, and I think you like Vandy way more than I do,
I
and
do
I
like
get that,
Vandy.
I get that. I mean, it's just that they play an interesting style of football, and, to have a quarterback that
I mean, it was Vandy, not Georgia Tech. Like, what is the difference between those 2
a
teams?
good point, a good point. They have a
What's the
loss, but a good
difference?
point, and they different schedule. But yeah, you're right. Those 2 I would love to see those 2 teams play right now. If we had that in the playoff,
We
man, that
saw
would be
this year,
fascinating.
I had the game, the
I
bowl
know,
game, and guess what?
I know,
Vanderbilt won.
I know, I know. A lot of injuries though. Come on,
I
we're
know, I'm
checked
just
out there.
saying.
It will be interesting. You're right. And maybe that's my bias creeping in here with Vandy versus
I mean, their
Georgia Tech.
losses to at Alabama. So, like, let's take it down a notch a little bit. I mean, a little bit different
Am I a
of a
Vandy hater? What am I doing right now?
I mean, they're literally identical. I mean, if you like Georgia Tech, you have to
Yeah,
like Vandy. If you like
right.
Vandy, you have to like Georgia Tech. I love both teams, so I'm the one making sense here.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And it is cool to see. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at these 2 teams, you look at what Clark Lee is doing, and it's unbelievable. It
Yes.
really is. I mean, you talk about SEC Coach of the Year, things of that nature. There's a lot of hats in that bucket, I think, right now, similar like there are everywhere. But that maybe is the most impressive thing, that he's doing what he is with the players he is with much less resources comparatively. And here they are, 6-1, one loss in the SEC, and fighting for their lives each and every week. And who knows what that could look like. So I apologize for being a hater for
You are a
Clemson.
hater. Jeez. absolute hater to the Vandy
Maybe
boys
I'm
right
getting
now.
riled up because we're getting closer to this Clemson conversation.
Yeah, I know. I kinda teased it. Let's see. Any more thoughts on this one? Like I said, I the plays that he made with his legs, like running around,
Yeah,
taking off, I think the big worry for both of them as we talk about Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt is we saw both those guys, quarterbacks, get banged up last year,
yeah,
and it really affect their game and then obviously affect the game for the entire football team. That's the hard part when you look at Vandy and you look at Georgia Tech, it feels like there's a lot of eggs in the basket of the quarterbacks, of like
sure.
those guys have to be the run game, the pass game, maybe Vanderbilt a little bit more than Georgia Tech. But if something did happen to them, do all the cards start crumbling down?
It is interesting. It's interesting to look at, and I mean, just looking at Vandy's schedule here, Missouri, who again you're very high on, coming up, then at Texas, which whatever. I mean, I don't
Yep.
think that's a game you're scared at. Versus Auburn, fascinating. Versus Kentucky, and then at Tennessee. A win loss in that. I mean, how many losses do you see in that right there?
And Vanderbilt,
Yeah,
I think Vanderbilt can get to 9-3, 10-2. I think they can beat Missouri.
10-2 would be
Um, I
fascinating.
think they could beat Missouri. I think they could beat Texas. I think they could beat Auburn. I think they beat Kentucky. I think they beat Tennessee. I I would have them favored in every single one of those games besides maybe Missouri.
Wow, wow, that'll be fun to watch. I'm with
Would
it.
you not? Texas
I'm
looked
with it.
awful. I mean, Texas had
Texas,
one
I'm
good
not
game
even
against
thinking of
Oklahoma.
Texas. I think Missouri, Tennessee are the questions, and
I mean, we
Tennessee's
talk about
defense is
Vanderbilt being a
terrific
playoff team right now.
for as absolutely.
We kinda hit Georgia Tech. I don't think we need to dump a ton in that game. I mean, the defense impressed me because
Yeah,
Mensa and Duke have been lights out as of late, and Georgia Tech just ate them up on the road and really shut
yeah,
them down. I thought that was and listen, Duke had some mistakes in there and moving the football and just could not capitalize in the red zone early on,
yeah. It
which
was
was
very it was
disappointing.
very similar feeling to, Georgia, like Georgia and Georgia Tech. It is weird, not the offensive explosion, but just the fact that Duke was right there giving their best stuff, and then the fourth quarter happens and you can't keep up. You just there's nothing that you can do. You want to fight this fight, you want to fight their style, and then it's just overbearing. And everybody wants to be a beast till it's time to do beast things. And I think that the two most impressive things, for me was the discipline I saw from Georgia Tech, not a lot of penalties at all, hung in
Yep.
there, the explosion in the second half offensively, statistically, and then a Duke team that had figured out how to run the football. I mean, that to me was their biggest, reason as to why they were on that winning streak that they were, the complementary facet of that offense running the football. And Georgia Tech, who is the worst rush defense in the ACC, 100 and something in America, shut it down. Like
Yep.
they played inspired, they had some fun schemes, had some cool packages that I thought really worked. And then Haynes King running it for 120 on a TD. I mean, that
He's so
dude's
good.
he's a freak. He's a
He's a
freak.
freak. All right, Georgia Tech, Vandy, America's teams heading into the back half of the season. All right, before we get into our new top 15, I'm just gonna step aside. I didn't watch the game. Brett, who does all of our graphics, was we're in a group chat,
Should we phone
and
him in real quick?
my man was about to lose his mind. I was like, "Uh-oh, Brett's on watch alert right now." Who obviously is a big Clemson fan along with EMAC. And it was another rough day for Clemson. So I didn't watch the game, so I had nothing to say about it. So I'm just gonna move aside and let you wax poetic about your Tigers.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating to watch, man. And I think the interesting thing, and this is where I'm gonna kind of look at all the fans right now and just talk to you guys. My screen died behind me. I don't know what we're doing live. I can't pause it and fix it. We just have to roll. It's kind of like Clemson's team right now, just disappears. But going into the game where there was the uncertainty of Cade Klubnik playing and everybody screaming the sky's falling and this and that and what they think and who they should play and Vizina's not the guy and he stinks and he shouldn't go in there. Quarterback was not the issue yesterday. Okay,
It was a little
quarterback
late
was
from the
fine.
Pats.
He played great. And he had little to no help. I mean, two wide open touchdowns dropped. Luckily, he responded on the next play and had a huge touchdown. But this team and even like play calling, you and I need to really dive into this play calling because I think it's a big issue.
Okay.
I honestly can, and this is knee jerk reaction. I do need to go back and watch the coach's copy. This is watching it live, watching some condensed highlights. maybe I need to be careful what I'm about to say. I don't know.
Let
I I
loose!
know. I
Let
don't know
loose!
how that was the offensive game plan if you watched any film of SMU. You know what I'm like, really, really bizarre circumstantial plays within that thing. SMU has the worst pass defense in the whole entire country. You should have thrown it 50 times. You had great
Going.
success throwing the football. The way they run the football, the way they attacked, it was just baffling to me. And some decision making from again the coaching staff, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, was bizarre. Defense looked slow. Defense looked unathletic. Defense got leveraged
It's
many
looked like
many
that all
times.
year, though.
It
All year.
has, and it's baffling to me. Is it a strength and conditioning problem? Is it a new coordinator you just paid $1 billion to? Is it coaching? Like, is it players? Do you need better players? I think some of those guys are very very good, and so there are so many issues right now, with these guys, and how do you fix it? What comes from it? And honestly, at the end of the day, what do you say? So it is a
I mean,
fascinating
is Clemson
situation.
even gonna make a bowl game?
Isn't that absurd to sit here and whisper?
Crazy to think
Is
about.
this the most disappointing college football team like of all time? Maybe not, but
I mean,
with the
it's pretty
hype going into the
disappointing.
season, we're getting close.
I mean, they're not Penn State. Penn State lost a 4th straight game yesterday, so I think Penn State still is in a worse situation than Clemson. Obviously, they're without a head coach too, so I wouldn't put it all on Clemson as but they've been, very, very disappointing. So we'll do a little, obviously, we'll do our video breakdown this week of the offenses. I had one, I did a Carson Beck breakdown of their game from Friday. I'm gonna do some more quarterback breakdowns this week, so make sure you like, subscribe, so that way you're in tune with all of that, to see those breakdowns of what's going on with some of the top quarterbacks and with Clemson this week. But let's jump into our new top 15 to finish things off
Come
right
on.
now. Let me pull it up real quick. So I do apologize to those that are not watching this, whether it's on Twitter or on our YouTube page. But we will obviously voice it over for those listening on the audio. But let's start. Let's work our way from bottom to top again. So let's go 11 through 15, and I'll say it, and then we'll give a couple of little nuggets about what we think about those teams. Number 11, Virginia escapes with a nice win yesterday. Virginia at 11, Notre Dame at 12, 13 is Missouri, who moved back 2 spots in their tight win against Auburn last night. Texas Tech moves back after their loss to Arizona State, and then new into the top 15. Louisville, the Cards, move into our top 15. Your thoughts on that grouping of 5?
Yeah, you look at Virginia, a little spooky game for them last night. My goodness, and we thought, okay, Ole Miss messed around with these boys in Washington State. That's a good wake up call. Maybe they're just a good little team. They find a way, but 2 weeks in a row now for Virginia finding a way to win. I mean, they win with a walk off safety. I mean, that's a pretty fun way to get your defense going there. And I have to give a lot of shout out and a lot of credit to the Virginia fans. Back to back weeks that stadium is as full as I've ever seen it in my career, covering this thing, having played there a couple of times as an ESPN analyst. There's some real juice. Tony Elliott and the boys doing a great job there. Fun to continue to watch them.
Obviously,
Looking
that Louisville win looks even better now
looks
on
even
the
better.
road there
Yeah,
after what Louisville did
exactly.
to Miami. So,
Exactly. And
I mean, you
I'll
look
go
at
to the
their schedule
Cards
going forward. I
next,
mean, Virginia may be 11-1 this season.
which will be great, which will be fun to watch. I think they got the QB to do it. We'll start
Yep.
talking about them a little bit more, I'm sure, in the coming weeks here. And then I'll go to Louisville, just a team that's as consistent as it gets under Coach Brom. It's what they do, especially against the big dogs. They win these games. They find a way. The Huddle's actually going there this weekend. Cannot
Okay.
wait. First time ever in 7 years, we're going to Louisville. And so excited to see that up close and personal. And man, they've got it going on. They get that run game going like they did against Miami for the rest of the
Woo.
year. They're going to be a tough
Well, I mean,
out.
I love their quarterback. I thought he was
Oh
I thought
yeah.
he was good last year at USC, and I thought he was a big get this offseason, Miller
Yeah.
Moss. We talked a lot about him, and obviously he played at a high level against Miami on Friday night. So I love Notre Dame at 12. I mean, we talked about them earlier. I think it's a really good football team. Still a big fan of Missouri, and they found a way to win in a hostile environment. In I think double overtime. I was watching the end of that game last night. I still think they have one of the premier running backs in the country. I think their quarterback is pretty darn good. They got edge defenders that can get after you as well. So I think Missouri is another team. Obviously, going to have a big test next against Vanderbilt. which is going to really determine, who's legit or who's not legit. And then obviously A&M after that. So Missouri's going to have their opportunities to continue to move up or down and on our poll with AP over the next 2 weeks. All right, let's get to our next grouping of 5. Number 6, Georgia Tech. Number 7, Oregon. Number 8, Georgia. Number 9, Ole Miss. Yeah, I mean, that is woo. And then number 10
And
is
Vandy.
Vanderbilt.
Should I peel back the curtain here, or do you not want me to?
You can peel back the curtain. This is a unbiased show.
It's unbiased and very transparent show. I had the Dogs at like number 5, and Aaron said, "Whoa." So just tell me why whoa. Is it the defense is
It's
bad
a
enough?
defense. It's a
Yeah,
defense.
yeah.
It's a
And you
defense.
want them
It
to earn
really
it. I respect that. You
I
want them to
want
earn
to
it.
earn it, damn it. Like,
Get
I'm
it?
not just gonna gift wrap someone, a ranking. Like, Georgia Tech has earned it.
Yeah,
So, like, I think they're in a good spot still. They're at
yeah,
number 8.
yeah.
Everything in front of them.
They're fine.
Continue to
They'll
win. You
they'll be fine.
continue to move
They'll be
forward.
fine. I think
You know,
that's
I
smart with that defense too.
yeah,
I
I
totally understand.
still love Oregon. I know the loss, 2 weeks ago or a week ago to Indiana at home kinda doesn't sit well, but I still think that that offense is elite. I think the defense is still good enough, and Indiana is just that good, which is why, we're gonna talk about them in a little bit. Um, I think that an interesting decision was, number 10 Vanderbilt or Ole Miss for that number 9 spot.
Mhm.
I could kind of flip-flop both those teams back. I just think, right now I'm in love with the way that both of those teams are playing. I'm talking about Vanderbilt and
Yeah,
Georgia Tech at the moment. I
yeah.
think, you gotta love their quarterback. You gotta love their head coaches. It's just a really fun brand to root for
It
and to
is.
watch each and every week. And I love the offenses and what they do creatively.
And
So,
it's
um,
fascinating too. You look at this time where we thought maybe a year or so ago, NIL transfer portal, the rich are only gonna get richer.
yep.
These teams aren't gonna be able to compete. And looky, Georgia Tech and Vandy in our top 10 right
I
here,
mean, look at the
just
top.
making their way.
Look at the group of 10 that we just talked about.
Yeah,
Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Virginia, Missouri, Texas. Obviously, Texas got money. So, and then Louisville. So, like,
yeah,
there are some teams that you don't think would be able to maybe keep up with, like you said, the rich, but they are kicking butt right now.
yeah.
So I think there's a lot of equal opportunity across the country because of the salary cap, because of the transfer portal. So that is our next grouping. Now let's get to our top 5 teams. Ohio State fans. It's been a fun week dealing with you guys. It has been hilarious because I don't think I've said anything negative about Ohio State, but yet every Ohio State fan thinks I hate them. I'm like, I've yet to say anything about Ohio State.
Well, I think
Yet
what
everything
you
feels like
did
it's like I'm like, no, I'm negative towards Ohio State. So
yeah.
here you go, Ohio State fans. You are number 1 in the country, and this is
I
not
think
me
what happened, Aaron, I
bowing
think what
down to you.
happened
You are a great football team.
was that you said Miami and then a gap, and although you did not mention Ohio State, you
Not
mentioned
say
Ohio
Ohio State.
State, and they got furious about that, and guess what? At that time, that's what it looked like, and I'll
Yep.
just tell you this, we like picking at y'all. We almost put y'all 3rd just to
First
kinda
off,
throw a little
don't say
punch.
we. You did. I was like, no, 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 no,
Me,
no.
I ain't afraid of them. I ain't never lost to those
I'm
boys.
not afraid either. I'm just saying, like, they are the best team now after what Miami
They
did.
are. They look good,
No.
and it's funny, I was watching back their tape this morning, dude. That defense is so scary. Like, they are fast, physical, relentless, and Julian's
Quarterback
saying, I
kicking
mean,
butt.
you need to look at his I know it's Wisconsin who is dog awful,
Oh.
but Julian's saying casually, like,
Oh, I've watched Julian.
86%, 400 yards,
Julian's
like,
been
crazy.
electric. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's good.
absolutely incredible.
He's good. And Tate,
Um,
that receiver,
Carnell,
good,
yeah.
good.
Well, I mean,
They're
it's
loaded, man.
it's
They're loaded.
they're loaded. They're loaded. There's no doubt. So Ohio State, you're 1. Congratulations. Indiana, number 2. I think we all love Indiana. Miami only moved to 3. I know the loss was not great. But I'm not going to just bail on what we've seen from Miami this year.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of people with the other polls like shoving them down to like 10, 11, 12. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
a
come on.
good, first of all, it's a good Louisville team. We
I
just
know.
talked about them. They're in our top 15. You had a bad day offensively, but this is still a brand of football that I think can win a championship. So I'm not just kicking them out just because of that. Alabama at 4, and then A&M at number 5. So that is our top 15. So let me go through it one more time. Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Miami 3, Alabama 4, A&M 5, Georgia Tech 6, Oregon 7, Georgia 8, Ole Miss 9, Vanderbilt 10, Virginia 11, Notre Dame 12, Missouri 13, Texas Tech 14, and then the Louisville Cardinals at number 15. So that is it for us. We appreciate all y'all liking, subscribing, whatever platform you're on. We'll have lots more content coming out this week. We'll have our preview show on Tuesday, and then our big game breakdown on Thursday as well. And then quarterback breakdowns and other breakdowns as well when it comes to film. So make sure that you like and subscribe to stay in tune with what we're doing at Mac and Murray. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see y'all later.
Okay.